just to tell briefly, how did you feel the first time you stepped in Africa, in Uganda? What was your feel about Africa? Because still, I know so many people when you go to the side of Michigan, when you go to the side of the other south of, part of America, and many people have never stepped in Africa, and they have had a different picture on Africa. How was your first experience stepping in Africa, and what will you never forget in your life about Africa, especially Uganda?
Hmm. Well, when I came over there,
Yeah.
I had no earthly idea what to expect. And we got off the plane, and it was warm, quite warm, and it was late in the toward midnight, and we walked into this building, and there was a man sitting there in military. He was sitting at this desk, and we had to go up there one at a time and sit across from him. Well, we were accustomed to going and sitting and talking to military people. So, we were a little frightened or uneasy, not frightened. He
Mhm.
was loud, but he didn't seem like he was. And then this man, two people in front of us,
Mhm.
there was this Korean man who
Mhm.
had gotten drunk on the airplane.
Mhm.
And he comes up and he sits down, and this guy starts screaming at him. And he says, "We don't need people like you here."
Mhm.
And he threw him out. He said, "Go sit there. We will send you home."
Mhm.
Well, then my friend has to go sit down next. And we're like, oh my goodness, what's he going to do with, these two old white guys from Tennessee? What's he going to do with us? Well, he was friendly and everything, but
Mhm.
we had it was $50 for a visa, and he opened his desk drawer and he pointed, and you put your money in there, and he closed it.
Mhm.
And then he stamped your passport and handed it to. So my first vision of Uganda was, what have I gotten myself into?
Yes.
The other thing with the kids, you know, we're used to seeing kids that are so incredibly spoiled. They have everything.
Mhm.
And a lot of them aren't happy. We would go into the churches, especially the churches, and these little kids, they their clothes were so worn, they were so thin, and I've never seen that kind of joy. There was just this incredible joy. And you were sitting there and you were saying, I want to have this.
Mhm.
I don't know what this is. And so, you know, after my first time in Africa, I couldn't wait to come back. I couldn't wait to come and be part of that again and to
Yeah.
feel it. And
Yeah.
and it was everywhere. Everybody laughed. There was so much joy. There was
Yeah.
just happiness everywhere.
Yeah.
And as once I started getting the hang of the humor and started understanding that a lot of the humor was directed at me for being the stupid white guy over there,
Yeah.
the Mazunga that knew
And
nothing. Once I started understanding that and
yeah,
I could join in with it, I mean, I loved it. I just loved being there.
yeah,
And so, I have been to Uganda more than
mhm,
50 times now.
mhm,
I've done that 24 in one direction, 27 in the other, more than 50 times.
yeah,
And it's the greatest thing in my life.
amazing, amazing. Very. I am just moved. When you told me about the experience on the visa,
I, I,
it's amazing. And I'm sure you were already strong and you had no option but to enter the country.
yeah,
Much as you much as you entered with a lot of scare, I believe you exited with a lot of joy and you couldn't
we
wait
did.
coming back, as you said.
We did.
Wow, that's great. Now, if we were to dive into, you work closely with children from vulnerable backgrounds, and I believe that that was your kind of work, especially children who are from those very vulnerable backgrounds. What are some of the stories that have stayed with you and made you so emotional that even where you are now, those stories still come back to your mind?
Brian, I can talk to you for days
Yeah,
about these stories. I'm going to tell you a couple. You tell me when to stop
sure.
because I know these people who who come from such unbelievably horrible situations
Yeah,
and they're what they are today. It's just amazing. And all we did was bring money.
yeah,
You know, these kids did that. They did the work.